Hello to all of you. I want to share it with you today. A problem related to the distribution of food in the cage, from baby crickets to big crickets, always you. There are some new crickets hatching today. I want to share it more closely because, well, the distribution of food will help you. Keep your head. It's been good since childhood, many of you. Take the eggs back. The baby crickets bloom very rich, very thick. As you can see, this barn. It is very thick. But that, and then when you grow up, it starts to get smaller. In part, it's affected because of the. At this young age for the food, guys, if it's affected, the reason is this. 2. Pumpkin friends feed no regrets. Pumpkin mini stage. The priority for pumpkin is the cricket. Big crickets are not needed. And we just need to feed the pumpkin 2 by 2 times during the course of the life cycle. Bend the cricket. On the first day we didn't choose. Let's go through the second day and we'll slice it out. Feed after 2 days. Let's change it one more time. And after. Change the second one. Let's start with the bran. Hey guys. Put the bran in. The way to feed pumpkins is like this. We cut the pumpkin so thin. Remember, it's really thin as paper as possible. A cage like mine 3 square meters. This a cage. Just one bulb. A tuber about a fruit. A pumpkin is about a pound. Because it is thick, it doesn't eat up. It's not over. If it's dry, it doesn't smell good. Not even his crickets. I don't like to eat either. We can cut it very thin and soak it in water. Let it suck. Let the pumpkin stretch. Then we put it in this size. You see, it's not as thin. Just like a piece of paper. Then you can spread it. In the same way we're doing it. That we spread. Well, it's a short distance, 10 inches. 10 centimeters of spread is really thick in there. It's really thick outside, so we can chop it up. Small pumpkin and spread it on the bottom. Again because a lot of them are at the bottom. It's hips up. Then we can spread the scroll at the bottom. What you should note is that the density of this pumpkin tree must be this thick. So let's not feel sorry for us. In a cage, it only eats about 1 to 2 pumpkins. If the result is small, 2. It doesn't eat much, so we have to feed him when he's young. Feed him real thick. Let everyone have food. This barn just opened yesterday, guys. I also give. It's in the morning. It's very thick, you see, not very thick. It's extremely thick, guys. There's a lizard here, see? Soon I will destroy. I'll have a video of this lizard later. The way to trap us. It's not that hard, but it's a bit of a waste. That's for your kids' crickets. And now I'm going to start on a cricket for about 10 days. When can you start eating bran? You mean about 3 or 4 days, we start feeding bran. Then you spread it like this. You don't need plastic troughs or anything. Just get the paper. Cut it into a square, it's about 10 inches. 10 to 1 like this. That's it, I finished the book. If I don't use it, I cut it off and spread it. Keep the distance. It's about a gang. It's a feeding trough. In the middle, we spread vegetables. After that, we spray water every day. I spray water about 3 times a day at noon. Spray is sprayed on vegetables, not on egg blisters. Then, this way of eating, it can be applied from small to large. You guys. Small to big, it's just us. When we grow up, we replace it with another food. Because this feeding trough, if it's big, is a cricket. Or very biting. Tear up this feeding trough. Here it is. This is about 4 years old. There are kids here. It's bigger than this. You see hips. There are some that are much bigger than this, and they've just molted. The ones that are much bigger than that are newly molted. Just finished unmasking. I eat like this. Cut the pumpkin and move on. Switch to leaf feeding. Leaves with bran, actually the pumpkin. The main purpose of the first time is that I don't have to replenish water. Hey guys, it's actually not as good as bran. Even though it is a lot of stuff. Easier to eat into it faster,
It's healthier,
bigger, and it eats a lot of bran. Many of you can see that he's done eating pumpkins from a day old until the end. 10 days, 15 days old, it will slow down. It's not that feeding pumpkins is good, even though we see. If he eats a lot, he thinks he's eating a lot. But it's not like that. You have to do what you eat. Just right. Right for each stage. The pumpkin phase as a child. The first is that it's stimulating. It's easy to eat a lot of crickets. I can't spray water. Water spray is it's easy to drown. When the water was small, it was small. Just water it. The droplet is. It's easy, the baby will get sucked in and it will get sucked in. Drowning, so it's a small stage feeding squash. The main purpose is to stimulate the crickets to eat. The second thing is to keep the cricket from getting thirsty. Because we don't have absolute water spray. Crickets BA days old or younger are not sprayed. We're 4 years old, even 5 days old. Just limit the spray. And this big cage is still A. It's still the same way you deconstruct the trough, guys, but it's just a little different. I changed the box for him. You see? This is still its feeding trough. I took advantage of the blisters that broke in half. This is broken. This is broken. Double fracture. I didn't put it in there, you guys. Used only for A. The water pipe end. Let's spread the bran. Here, I still eat the same kind of layout. The feeding troughs are like 20 inches away. There's a feeding trough at 20 centimeters. Just different. I replaced it with an egg. Because the cricket is starting to climb. That's good, guys. Because the evidence is so that it does not crush the bran. That's the purpose, but it's the nature, is still the same. 2. It's still the gutter layout. 20 inches is a point. There's some crickets that spawn, and they get in here. These guys, if you can, take RA. Don't let it mess up in here. Sometimes the dog will eat everything it eats. Then, the one in the middle doesn't say we are. Change the day. Once it's eaten, put it back in. It doesn't eat much leaves at this stage. We put it in. He ate some of it, but he couldn't eat it all. For this cage, I'll put it on the hose. The main purpose is to test you, because the cage with the whole cage is quite thick. The test is, if I put the water in, let's see how it works. I think this water pipe is fine. In general, see the crickets what they eat and drink. The water is also. That is, but the time it took him to answer, is it productive or not? I have also experimented before. It's on my big camp, but because it's so big, I don't have it. I'll write it down, be specific. And this cage, I'm going to write this down. This cage is pretty thick, guys. This cricket is extremely thick. To keep your head pretty good. This cage is for 8 egg trays. Some are up, some are up. Here's a tray for drinking water. Pipes for drinking water. It's not eating hard right now. 3 hours. 3 hours less than 10. Anyone with experience knows this now. He didn't eat because he had breakfast. It's resting until the afternoon. It's about 4:30 and 5 o'clock, and it's going to go. Run to eat. Go. Here it is. If you can invest, invest too. This pipe is also placed. This way I can assure you that the bird will be very healthy. And my water doesn't have to worry, because it's got water in it. Here, you see a. Hey there. See? It's in this cloth. I light water twice a day. It always has water in it. That's the cricket it will be. There is water for him to drink. It's like cages without water. Thirsty, he eats vegetables. It has to wait until I spray. This cage just opened, guys. It just bloomed yesterday. This cage is very thick. This cage. Watch this. He's hiding. This is the hour. In the morning it's down there. Always black. The eggs are very good. That's it. It is extremely popular. Here. The eggs are extremely beautiful. I keep it that way. You have to have a pumpkin like this. In many camps, they don't even feed pumpkins. Because Pumpkins are hard to find, not easy, guys. Buy a pumpkin that's expensive for people to eat. And with me, well, because I know some pumpkin farms. And then I bought some pumpkins. How much are you connected to? If that's okay. It's related to the pumpkin growing areas. If they have pumpkin, I buy it. The kind they sell back to pigs for pigs. Then I bought one, and there were 2,000. It's about me. These can last a long time. The pumpkin lasts about 5 to 6 months. Let's just put it away and feed it. Here I have a pumpkin envelope. It's small, it's not big, guys. It is also small far away. Here it is. It's your type of squash. 2 of them have just been signed, but it doesn't matter if you eat crickets, they enjoy it. You said pumpkins were afraid of drugs or something. There's no need to worry. I've been feeding pumpkins for years. I don't see what's wrong with it. The problem is that you are not a. Give it enough to eat, it's gone. It's not the drugs in the pumpkin. Because actually the old pumpkin, people spray less. People spray when they're small, guys. But the price of pumpkin is cheap and imported in the garden is very cheap. If you abuse drugs, there's no money. What you say? Wages and drugs. They are toxic, not. I like to spray. Before the harvest. How long does it take for people to harvest? So it's a pumpkin. It's not as good as a sweet potato. Sweet potatoes are the most evil medicine. Don't make it easy to eat sweet potatoes. Sweet potatoes are the worst. Then you. There is something else I want to share with you. What kind of cages are you? Then you can go. It's like this barn is just opening up. As in this cage over here. Just hatched with this cage, but because I see it, this cage with this cage, it's thicker than the cage over there. So I'm always on the blister, always on the blister. Let it not be. 7. Get rid of the female head when peeling. Because when you peel it off, if it's too thick, it's going to eat you. It's so thick that space doesn't have it. Stand close to each other and peel it back and eat it. The ones that pass through it eat, so we need to if. When the barn opens, it is crowded. It is best that we up blister give it. Up the blister give it from the beginning so that we limit the state of attrition. Like this cage, I also have this standing blister. You see? This cage is a standing blister, not a double blister. And these cages are double blister. So if you have a cage where you release your eggs, just dropped it twice as fast. Why does it have a cage? When we release the eggs, we release them. The main purpose of this barn is to collect milk. If you collect the milk crickets, we can squeeze them. Which cage to release? We take care of the special regime to get that kind of paper. Then we should just let go. It's too thick to reach. That's what I shared with you. Maybe I'll have a video, something else to share about the problem. Today's content is me. I just want to share how you distribute food. This place is also quite thick. I went upstairs and gave it to him. There is always time to go upstairs. This is actually upstairs from the beginning. This kind of thing takes time. What about millet? If it is small, we will solve the pumpkin. If it's that long, add some cassava leaves. Then solve for it on the surface like this. Then add some cassava leaves on the surface like this. If he likes to eat, he doesn't eat. Let's show you this. I don't eat much when I put it in. But just put it in. If you have time, just let it in. It's no problem. Put it in the same way that creates ventilation. It's cool in the barn, that's the point. Not much to eat. Since childhood, we have been feeding pumpkins like that. When we grow up, we solve it like this. Solve like this. After that, just change the material back and forth. Take off the paper and make it healthy. Cricket, it's easy climbing, easy to climb. It's a little bigger. You can use cardboard. The carton type for example. Then a little bigger. It could be using the A right here. The blisters that it breaks in two, you can also use that blister. A little bigger. Buy a B. Then we can replace them with harder materials. Because it was an egg blister, it's not going to hold up, guys. We have to move to harder materials. It's like an aluminum plate or a thin sheet. That or else. We have to use plastic troughs to feed it. But do what you do, you have to shave it, make it easy to climb. But this cricket is kind of. If you have nails, you can climb somewhere. In today's 6th video, I want to share it with you. About the distribution of food like that. Look at it as simple as that. But it's going to affect a lot to the growing process and the uniformity. And to the problem. This is about the output and the future. In terms of uniformity, it's going to have a lot of factors, but this is not the only factor. I also mentioned the videos before about the quality of the food. It also affects then issues related to drinking water and weather, then humidity and so on. But this is one of the factors. I think it's also very important. You need to be careful. And again, thank you very much. If you have any questions, please leave a comment. And don't forget, follow my channel. Like and comment too. If you create a lot of interaction, the video will be YouTube. Let's show people more from there. It's a channel we have. We can exchange experiences with each other. Socks by. Because I am not the one called. Too professional, too professional. Everything is right, but that's what I know. That's what I share. Do you have a better way to do it? For example, you can share it in the comments. We'll learn from each other. Please allow me to stop the video here. Thank you very much. See you all in the next videos.